Because if you think about it, Danny really wasn't doing a lot.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He had everybody else doing everything.
But that's what I'm saying. He's the mastermind. That's not you.
Only time will tell.
So what do you mean then?
Maybe on the outs. Maybe on the ends, you know. Welcome to the Mowry podcast.
What are you on? Let me lock in. I gotta lock in for the both of us.
I'm already in.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about that video, originally the bank video. You see what I'm saying? Like I can't even get through a sentence.
I'm sorry. All right.
Put your hand over there. Put your hand over there.
I just want to be close to you.
You don't. You want to mess with me. That's the thing. There's a difference. You do.
Both, yeah. Both and.
You're about to get on my nerves in front of these people.
Yo, it's good. Welcome to the Mowry podcast. I'm Tavior Mowry.
Zany Mowry.
And this is the Mowry
podcast.
It's because I was thinking about how we look identical on the couch.
No, you have a hat and a vest.
But we got like a whole situation going on.
Accidental matching.
Yeah. Welcome to the Mowry podcast. I had to get it. I had to say it right.
You said it. This is your third time.
But I fumbled it. Oh. Third time's a charm, though. So, what are we talking about today?
Well, in general, I want to talk about like teamwork and togetherness.
Okay.
But I got the idea because I saw this not a podcast, just something on Instagram, and it was a guy, and he asked his friend, if you and your wife were in a bank heist, and one had to go in and get the money, and the other person had to be the getaway driver, who would you choose?
Okay. And
he gave his answer, but I was like, I know what our answer should be, but I was curious about what you think our answer should be. And if we're already on the same team.
I think we're on the same team, but also I just don't know what's required of you when you go in the bank.
So you are thinking that I'm going into the bank?
Yeah, because I'm a better driver than you. Like, getaway.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, like, you're kind of a slick talker. So.
Yeah, okay, so at least that's good.
Yeah.
This is what I was saying. This is what my thought was. I don't think I would go in with, like, a gun.
Okay.
I'm not going that angle. I'm not going in with a mask and all abrasive and stuff.
Okay.
I gotta charm it into, you know what I mean? I'm not the gun. I'm not that person.
No, you're not.
I'm not intimidating like that.
No.
You know what I mean? So that can't be the route that I go in.
No.
I do have to somehow like convince somebody to let me see the safe, and you know what I mean? Like I would probably go in as a person who was like, hey, like I'm studying X, Y, and Z. You know, I was wondering, I just go to school right up the road. You know, whatever,
Yeah,
you know.
I talked to Cindy earlier
Exactly,
today.
yeah.
Like, Cindy?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I would have been in there before.
Oh, you would have scoped the place out?
For sure.
Did some recon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I'm going more Oceans than I am Breaking Bad. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's more about the slick and the charm.
Yeah.
And then what
if
is
you feel like you can rob a bank, like more power to you.
Yeah. Thanks. If you feel like you can be, that's what I'm saying, but I have to be quick enough, like just a saunter to the car, but I can't like sprint out. So which means you don't necessarily need to be getting away until they realize they got robbed. Because we don't want to.
How are you sauntering out with bags of money? How much money can you carry? I think that's really the question.
I haven't thought all the way through.
Maybe I should be going inside.
You would not do well in there.
You
You don't think I'll do better than you? You do better than me?
It depends on the approach.
What would be your approach? I just get very thorough, clear approach.
I wasn't thinking like that. I'm thinking I'm about to get loose in the car because that's
no, but
my
now
role.
you want to be in the bank. So what's your?
Well, I'm just saying I don't know how many bags you can carry, and is it worth it if you can't carry all those bags?
So that's you. So then you said maybe I should be the one. So I said, great. What's your approach?
I don't know.
Exactly. We both know I would be best in the bank.
Okay.
You don't think so?
I think you'd be good.
You're changing your thing.
I think you'd be nice, but I'm starting to see some holes.
I haven't thought it all the way through.
Yeah.
I think I've already said you're a good driver. I've only given compliments. You're
Me
just
too.
starting poking. No, you've only
You're
given.
suave. I think you're smooth. It's good. I wonder what that means. Does it do that?
I don't know.
Sorry, the space heater just turned off.
Just like redo it. The thing should be on max too. You see the other dial?
Oh, okay, for sure. Whew.
He's so cold today.
I just had a smoothie before we started. And that kind of got my internal, you know what I'm saying, a little low. Okay, so we talking about teamwork.
Yes, and I thought that was going to be a good transition into the teamwork
It's a
because
great one. We just got the heater fixed.
no, the thing because now you want to change the fact that we work as a team, but it's actually kind of good because sometimes in the middle of work doing life together, things switch up.
That's a fact, and you gotta stay on your toes. Do you not?
You do. I just also think that I'm confused by your sudden change, just because of the bags of money, and we're also in like
We're still talking about it.
yeah, I'm like we're also in a day and age where
People don't even be having cash like
right.
that.
So I don't think it'll be
So
about
it's more so you got crypto bread
something
on a hard drive.
Yeah, a hard drive.
Okay, I give you it.
And then as long as you don't bring too much attention to us, I think we'll be straight.
That's not my MO.
What do you mean?
Bringing attention.
I'm saying by feeling like you have to drive so fast and like get through, you know what I mean?
Smooth.
But you see, we can get pulled over. Is my point.
They don't know it's me.
It don't matter if you're.
They don't know it's you. They don't know. I got it.
No, it doesn't matter.
City. I got it.
You just be saying stuff. Literally, you just say stuff.
We all do.
No,
We all say things. Do we not?
this is my point.
Exactly. This is why I be nice in the bank. Because while I got them talking in a circle,
No, you're the one talking.
I'm
in a
making
circle.
it happen. It's all right, babe. I'm like George Clooney
It just
in
doesn't
the
rationally
Danny Ocean.
No, you're the little Asian guy that gets in a box.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm not flexible like
okay,
that.
well, you're one of the
You're
brothers.
Bernie Mac.
Yeah, I know.
I know, but I'm Danny though.
No, you're like one of the brothers.
No, Z. That's
Are
not
they brothers?
me.
Is that right?
Yeah, brothers. That's not me.
You really think you're? You really think?
I really feel like I could offensive coordinate this whole thing. Everybody, let's come together.
No way.
Z, you never seen me when I gotta make it shake like that. I'm a great meter of minds. I create a forum for people to come together and for them to be successful. Because if you think about it, Danny really wasn't doing a lot.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He had everybody else doing everything.
But that's what I'm saying. He's the mastermind. That's not you.
Only time will tell.
What, you about to rub a bank?
No. Not that. Yeah. Not in that way. But only time will tell.
So what do you mean then?
Maybe on the outs. Maybe on the ends. Who knows? See? That's why.
You saying see after you say anything does not make it a good point.
I'm not trying to make it a point. It just simply is.
Oh my gosh. This is my life. And it's hard. It's hard for me sometimes because things that don't make sense really spiral me. And you're not making much sense.
It's okay. Like I said.
Okay. Over the past year or so.
What an intro.
Huh?
What an intro. If this is your first time watching this, sorry.
No, welcome. This is literally how we talk at home.
Welcome to the Mowry podcast.
What are you on? What is happening? Did you talk to Darius today?
I didn't. I haven't. Why?
Because you're in a I just got off the phone with Darius mood.
Nah, I'm just playful.
You're not. Are you typically playful?
Yeah. It's called joy, babe.
No, it's not. Mm-hmm. You are not a playful person.
Yeah, I am. You don't think I be joking?
What percentage? What percentage are you playful?
Maybe like 49, 51. 49 joking around. 51 dead serious.
I'll give you 30.
That serious? Yeah.
No, 30.
Sick on it.
Joking around. Are you being serious?
I don't know. It fluctuates on the day to day. We're dynamic people.
Are you wanting to have a real conversation, or are you just wanting to deflect everything?
I'm not deflecting. I thought we were about to talk about teamwork.
We
Not
are,
about
but
if I'm a funny guy or not. We already know that.
we didn't say funny. See, you're not listening.
I'm joking.
Nope, I didn't say that either.
Wait, what did you say?
What was the word? Exactly, you don't be listening.
What'd you say
Exactly.
though?
Playful. You said I'm a playful person.
That's like very similar.
Too funny?
Or like joking around. I'm just joking. I'm just playing. JK. JP.
Let me lock in. I gotta lock in for the both of us.
I'm already in.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about that video, originally the bank video. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can't even get through a sentence.
I'm sorry. All right.
Put your hand over there. Put your hand over there.
I just want to be close to you.
You don't. You want to mess with me. That's the thing. There's a difference. You do.
Both, yeah. Both and.
You're about to get on my nerves in front of these people. Are you ready?
I'm born ready.
You see what I'm saying? Not one sentence.
I'm
Like,
sorry,
is it
Z.
yes or no?
Really? I'm ready, Z.
My lord. The bank heist question got me thinking about literally who would go in, though we would never rob a bank, but also how we had to learn to like play our roles well in marriage, in life, and in like as a team. And that was probably
Last year.
you think?
Within the last year, yeah.
Within the last year or like 23?
Within the last year.
I think so. Well, easily. But I've been watching like love a good rom-com, love a good falling in love story. And I've been watching like from this perspective, people who remind me of myself, and I'm like, they're not playing their role. They're not playing exactly how they need to do. And I've just been thinking about the importance of knowing your lane and staying in it, and also not diminishing the value of staying in your lane, and not thinking of it as just like a limitation, but more so a, what's the word? When you have to work in a specific bounds, but it's a good thing. Okay, let's pretend that I'm in the Olympics. You can be in the Olympics too. And we are doing a relay, and like you have to stay in a specific lane. So into that, it is to my advantage based on how they've placed me, not to just be all over the track, but to go exactly where I'm supposed to be, so I can hand off to my team player and they go exactly where they need to be, because they've like measured it out that way. And for a long time, I felt a lack of freedom not being able to go all the way around the track. Like, well, today I want to do this, today I want to do that. And I'm realizing now, like, the advantage I have when you do stay in your lane, and the way the Lord has set it up in marriage is to stay in your lane for the benefit of the team, not because you're not allowed to go somewhere else. And it took me a long time to really figure that out. And I think that in parenting, you really don't have a choice.
No.
And as we prepare for like another kid, I'm like, have been thinking a lot about when we had Triumph, both of us it was like 2-on-1, you know what I mean? So both of us could be up in the middle of the night, or one of us could, but that meant the other person would be up the next morning. And I keep thinking about the reality of like, there's 2 kids. So either we're both about to be up. So then I rewind back and I'm like, I'm so thankful we're not in the place of fighting the lanes anymore. But we can really just easily stride through hurdles, maybe. Or I don't want to say the kids are a hurdle, but
I think it's just a mutual experience that we have.
Yeah.
And it's not,
but
like, they're not an obstacle by any means. I think just
a learning curve.
The dynamics are different.
Yeah.
And the nature is different. So it's like our life has changed because we are now parents. And it's going to change again, shift kind of more so in the direction it already shifted in because we have an additional child. But that's not the and with that shifting, certain things are required and things that were required are even more so required.
Right. And that feels like scary is a big word. I don't know that I feel scared, but I feel aware of my limitations.
Yeah.
Obviously, in this particular season, my capacity is so different than it will be when I'm not actually carrying a child. But in my reality thus far, this is what it means to have 2 kids. Extremely tired, you know, can't breathe, hurts to walk, and you have a toddler. So some of my adjustment has been around that perspective, that dynamic. And I think I have felt sad and I guess we can just go there, like less of a teammate.
Oh, okay.
Because of the limitations.
Okay.
So it feels like if I was in a relay and I was supposed to run, I don't know, 100 feet. Is that how long?
100 meters?
100 meters. And then somebody said, well, everybody else is going to do their normal thing, but you only run 50. I would be like, what? And I know that there's a legit thing, reason why I'm doing less work, but it still doesn't feel like I'm pulling my weight.
But I think you have a distorted perspective of that. Because what you perceive as 50 meters, you're actually, like, what you're doing is running a marathon, and in the middle of your marathon, getting in sync with the relay race, getting a baton passed to you, you running 50 meters, passing the baton off, and then continuing your marathon. And like that marathon just happens not to stop. Which is why I think your perspective is distorted in the sense that you're actively creating a human currently in this moment. And that does not stop ever. And I don't think you account for that ever.
I think I don't because I don't have to think. Like, praise God. You know, like he's the one who once it starts, it goes. And we don't have to be like, today's eyelash day. Like, let me develop eyelashes, you know. But so because my brain isn't in the developmental process as much as it is in like our day to day, it feels like I'm dropping the ball in our day to day. And something that I love the most about our relationship is our teamwork and how we have like, I remember when Taj came to visit us the first time when Triumph was born, after Triumph was born, he was like, I love watching y'all parent together. And like, and he was like, one person does this and then like y'all just, it's like you have the same brain and you just do what you need to do. And it was the first time somebody kind of put language to how I felt doing life with you, where it's like, once we clicked into, now you think we can talk without saying anything.
We can.
But once we clicked into that analogy, hypothetically, of just being able to know how we move, this feels like clicking out of it to me in a lot of ways. Because I don't, my brain, the pregnancy brain thing is a real thing. So I don't always like.
I get that. Dad brain. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, don't relate. You're about to spill this.
Oh, thanks. See? My teammate.
But does that make sense? Like I understand what you're saying and I appreciate your perspective and I hear it more than just appreciate it. I do hear it, take it in. And I think I forget because again, it's the growing a baby isn't part of my mental work, meaning God hasn't asked me to mentally check in and be like, today you're supposed to develop this. So because I cherish teamwork so much, sometimes when I have to learn a new expansion of that teamwork, I can feel like I'm losing it. And that makes me sad because I value it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I get that, but I still feel like you're being a team player in the teamwork currently.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't changed. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like maybe first trimester was like a different dynamic than second trimester and third trimester, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's all at the same time where it's like you can be on a team, but that doesn't mean that the workload is evenly distributed
Yeah.
at all times. Like, for instance, I was tackling them leaves
Right.
yesterday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is a significant amount of energy, time, effort, but that doesn't take away from what you're doing
Right.
or what I'm doing. And maybe you didn't put in that form of work that day, I guess. Like, that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? To me, a good team and teammates, because like people make the team, and more so the coaching makes the team, which is like God.
Yeah.
It's like, how committed are the players to the plan? Okay, what is God saying? And how committed are the players from there to each other? And it's like, okay, you got me, I got you, and we're both focused on the same thing. So it doesn't really matter if your role today is to just chill out and vibe, and mine is to be on the roof. Like, that's just what it is. And there's value and merit in both of those things.
Yeah. That's true. And I think knowing the season is important too.
Yeah.
And knowing the season and knowing the play. We used to get into, I would say, an argument. He feels like we never argue. Because I just feel like we're not on the same team. I just feel like we're not on the same team.
Fact.
And I was like, I literally married you. Like, I don't know how much more on the team I can be. But he was talking more from an emotional and mental place, not just spiritual. So he was like, we've obviously made a covenant before God to each other, or to him and each other. But it was like, I'm thinking like an individual, but wearing the jersey of a team. And like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Just like in Remember the Titans, for anybody who also has seen that movie a million times, where he's like, team? What team? You know what I'm talking about? He's like, Julius.
Oh, yeah. Team? What team?
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to get mine. Yeah. But so part of in that conversation, we had it multiple times because it took us a long time to resolve it. But in that conversation, the analogy of football would come up a lot because he's an athlete. Yeah. And so he would be like, it's like we're both trying to play quarterback. And I was like, but he's like, and what I hear, I don't know anything about football. Let me open with that. But knowing that I don't know anything about football, I also do know the significance of a quarterback.
Right.
So in my head, that is one of the more important players on the team. And this is not, football fans get real up in arms. I'm not talking about nobody or nothing. I'm talking about the fact that I know a little bit about football, and based on that little bit, it seems like what people talk about a lot are the quarterbacks or the running backs. There's not a lot of like linemen who get the same press as a quarterback or a running back or something like that. So what I heard him saying was, I'm the quarterback, you're a player. You know what I mean? So like, run the play. And I was like, whose play? You know? And over time, were you ever saying that, do you feel?
No.
Just checking.
I was not saying that at all.
I was just checking.
I think I was just saying it's like two people can't be quarterback at the same time on the same team.
It did feel like you kept being like, I'm the quarterback. In the analogies.
You?
No, you. You would say you would refer to yourself as a quarterback. There's probably some subliminal. There's probably a little bit of what you didn't realize you were saying. You know what I mean?
No, what I'm saying is it's like it's
That's
ac-
okay. We're
there's
good
actually
now.
I want to say it's either Bernie Mac or Chris Rock, and they do a stand up talking about that, and it's like only one person can get the snap. But if I'm out here saying hut hut and you're out here saying hut hut,
Right.
like the play is about to crash before it
yeah.
even gets started.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying, because it's like a quarterback really is the one that's facilitating where the ball goes.
I'm laughing because
What?
are you making the comparison back to the Ocean's reference?
No, I was not going there. No.
The quarterback facilitates, and that is why
I'm Danny
George.
Ocean. I'm George Clooney. Like, not even Danny. I'm
Yeah,
just George.
yeah.
Nah. No, he's facilitating where the ball goes, and it's like, yo, if the linemen don't block, this quarterback's about to get whacked. If the receivers don't get open, the
ball
quarterback's
can't-
gonna get whacked because he's holding on to the ball
Or
for
have to
too
throw
long,
it out.
or throw it out of bounds. You know what I mean? Or he hands it off. You know, I think it's like the quarterback is just a vessel in which the ball goes through.
Mm-hmm.
He just happens to be the one that touches it every play, but he's distributing it. And I don't necessarily perceive in the analogy we were talking about, I always am like, how can I help you to be as successful as you can be? How can you be placed in a position that makes you successful? Like, let me help with that. You know what I'm saying? Just as you help me with that. But like, I got you. Like, go long. Like, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get the ball to you. You know what I'm saying?
Think that is really the turning point for our relationship, because in that dynamic of let me help you score, there has to be trust.
Yeah.
And there has to be like an understanding that we were running the same play.
Yes, and a knowing that I want you to score.
Right. But when there isn't, I should say when there's doubt, not even 100% lack of trust, but when there's doubt involved, it's like, do you just want me to run because you don't want me next to you? Are you just wanting me out of your space, out of your way? You know what I mean? And I'm not considering the fact that you are thinking about how I'm running so that you could help me score or help us score. I'm just like, you're just trying to control it. And I think for me as a woman, like I struggled, well, maybe not even as a woman, I'll just say for Zandy specifically.
As a person.
Yeah. Feeling controlled. Or like somebody was trying to control me. Because I'm like, God, you know, you're the only person who can tell me what to do, which is like not a healthy standpoint. And it also directly fights teamwork.
But also you are a quarterback in so many other places of your life.
That's true.
So it was like, wait, nah, give me the rock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
But see, and that's a good point, because
in
here,
this particular instance, I got you.
And so what position would you play?
Quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. And so, but that, you said you never felt that way.
What do you mean?
Maybe you said you never felt that it was a more important position.
I'm saying
I feel that you felt that you were the quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
But I
disagree?
feel like this is the best position for me to be in.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when we were giving your analogies, you often were putting yourself as a quarterback.
Right.
So what my offense was coming in was because I know so little about football. I was just like, quarterback is a star player.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that...
But you're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything against what you're saying.
I know, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is this.
But can you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
What did I say?
I'm not trying to be the star player by default.
No, I'm trying to, and I don't think that. I'm trying to let you in on how I was hearing it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because it's, again, I'm coming from rom-com. So it's like cheerleader and quarterback. So every value in a football team seemed to be put on the quarterback because they got the most press. And in a mind, specifically growing up as Christian, wives submit to your husband. He's the head of the house. There is already a fight over value. Like you're less than. Like he's the man, you're the woman. And even in just like outside of religion, just like the way that America is set up, it's very male dominated. So then to
or like the world.
Yeah. So to hear I'm the quarterback, my filter was I'm the star. Not, this is not from an actual player's perspective of it's actually just the best position to set my team up for success. I was listening through stereotypes.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think listening through stereotypes, there's no acknowledgement of when a team is terrible.
Right.
The quarterback is the one that has the target on him.
Yeah.
When it's just like, yeah, X team sucks. But their quarterback really sucks. He's, you know what? He needs to get up out of
So
here.
you feel the pressure too.
Oh, yeah. But that's the reason why, like, for the sake of your rom-com experience, the quarterback is, like, the stars. Because the quarterback's only the star because the team is good. He's not just the star just because he's quarterback. Nor is second-string quarterback the star because he plays quarterback. It's how are you performing? Like, it's really crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, people wouldn't care who Patrick Mahomes is.
If he was the only good player on the team.
Not only good player on the team, but if he wasn't doing what he's doing. Because it's like, if I was like, I'm not trying to throw shade.
Yeah, just say like another player.
Yeah. Like, you wouldn't know. You know who Patrick Mahomes is because he's, like, the biggest name at that position. But you wouldn't know,
and also
like...
know the Bills guy.
You don't even know his name, though.
But I know he's a great player.
Yeah, he is. But you know what I'm saying, though? Like, there's tiers to it. Josh Allen.
Yeah, I know Josh Allen.
But what I'm saying is that, like, that position, for the sake of the relational example, it's one that is facilitating the direction of the team. And what are we going to do? It's not a place of control because the quarterback's not the one that's calling the plays. The quarterback can, like, change the play on the ball, but guess what?
If it don't go well.
Oh, he's got beef with the coach because it's like, you didn't do what I told you to do.
Right.
So, like, even the quarterback himself is under authority of the coach, just as I'm under authority under God. Which is why, regardless of the play, we're both running the play because we're under the authority of the coach.
Yeah.
Follow what I'm saying?
Totally. And I think that not having an understanding of this concept makes it really hard to work as a team. And I think that was our struggle for so long. My struggle, I should say. Because you had an understanding, but I was listening through the stereotype filter. So I was like, every time he wants to talk about him being the quarterback, like,
it's just like, so you want to date the cheerleader? That's what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I'm like, so I'm just the trophy wife, you know?
Not at all.
But I wouldn't feel that way in our day-to-day. But when the conversation came up, that's why I would feel so confused. Because I don't have, probably because I didn't understand the analogy.
The context.
Yeah, I'm like, not sports. But also because of everything else in me that fought leadership and fought authority. And that's not you, that's God. Like, sometimes it's easy to take things out on you when it really is an order that was set long before you. And so if my beef is with anyone, it's most likely with the Lord, and I had to settle that. And after the fact is when we could have successful conversation. And then once we could have successful conversation, we could actually run a play. And then once we actually successfully ran a play, we could actually see the scoreboard going up. And then when we saw actually won a game, we had more gas in the tank to do it again. And then, you know what I mean? Then our ranking went up, and now we're feeling good.
Yeah.
Because we have momentum on our side.
Yeah.
Versus being like, we're 0-8. You know what I mean? And it just feels like every time we play, every time we do something that requires teamwork,
now the team's fighting themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, morale is so important, too. And I watch way more football because he likes it, but it's always fun to me when somebody makes a great play, a huge play, and the whole team surrounds the player, or, 5 or 6 of them get together and they hit him on the helmet or whatever, and they're just, like, celebrating, even though the game's not won. But they're celebrating what the person just did.
Yeah.
And I feel like we also got better at that. Not only looking at where we want to go and how we want to get there and like just not stopping to smell the roses. But like celebrating little wins, even if it's just a step into the big thing that we're trying to do. But then the more that we did that, the more I realized like, oh, this is the win. Like having a life full of peace, having a husband who feels respected because I'm like actually doing the work to communicate and admire and honor him instead of just like, let me finish what I'm saying, but you're not just my friend. Like I can treat my friends a certain way where I'm like, that was cool. You know what I mean? And then keep going. Like you are me. And so like the fact I have to nurture you in a way that's more than just like, we're not fighting.
Right.
So we're good, you know?
Yeah.
But more so like, how do you feel respected? And that is something, my part of the teamwork. I don't know that I'm not like I'm going to blatantly disrespect you person. I was more of and can still be, how would you describe it? This is not set up.
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm going to let you write that one out.
Go for it. Because I can't really put my finger on it. Because I'm not like a yeller. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to cuss him out. I'm not going to like talk down to him. Oh, I can be more of a know-it-all. And I can be like, give you the perception that I'm listening to you, but really be like in one ear, out the other.
Yeah.
Hard-headed, stubborn is probably more so he would feel disrespected than verbally.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's
Tone was one, though. Even if I wasn't saying crazy things, maybe my tone could be off.
Yeah.
These are things that don't work in a team dynamic.
I need that. Yeah. No, it's a fact.
And these are things that I had to like.
But a lot, if you like really look at that, it's like in that mindset, it's hard to be on a team with someone like that, regardless of the position.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I experienced that as well too. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Being headstrong.
Stubborn was the word I used. But you can use whatever word you want.
For you or for me?
It was just like the word. You said experience it too, so I was like, okay, same thing. So
You
like,
notice how I didn't dig in on you?
No, I didn't.
Nah,
I said
it's
me,
good.
For me, stubborn was the word I used.
I know, but it's
So you were
good.
trying to be like the same, and I was like, okay, well, if you want to be the same, I would use the same word.
Yeah, but also it's like I think
headstrong.
I think
clear vision. You know what I mean?
I think even in our figuring out how to play the different positions or roles, and you would operate in that way, I still feel like I would give you the opportunity to move in that way.
You're saying that way, maybe be a little bit more specific.
Like stubborn or headstrong, and just be like, like she'll get it when she gets it, I guess.
Yeah, but that wasn't always sweet, Tate.
It wasn't sweet, and
I'm saying, I don't want to expose you.
And also, like, you can. I'm not tripping, but like.
But it wasn't necessarily. You weren't in a like. You know what, Lord?
No. I wasn't.
I'll give you. Yeah, I'll give
you.
It
was just like, yo, what is going on
it was
right
apathy.
now? I was just like, yeah, no, it was.
It was like, okay, cool, you do
if she
you.
wants to do that, like, I'm gonna go let her do her.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I agree with the fact that there was space given. But I knew it was with resentment.
Maybe not resentment, but apathy. And those aren't the same things.
No.
I think it was just kind of like.
Or I guess it could breed resentment.
It
long
could,
term, yeah.
But it never got to that point.
No.
I think it would have for surely did.
For sure.
If
we were
put some years on that, what?
Years, kids, responsibilities, money.
My goodness. Nah, it could get crazy real quick. It's that exponential joint. But yeah, I just found that to be
It's annoying. It's annoying. Like I'm like, I get it. I mean, we experience it in different ways too, because I say this a lot to my friends, but I'm like, I'm not a man. Like, I don't know from experience the pressures, the leadership. Like, as much as we can talk about, like, we live in a male-dominated world, which I believe is true. There's a, and unfair, to be very clear, but there is a pressure that I don't have because it's not a female-dominated world. So the expectation of me is very different than the expectation of him. And when that is not submitted to God, I think that's where a lot of ego comes into play. That's when a lot of like, I have to make this happen, make this shake in my own strength. And not only because I want to do this, but because everybody expects me to be able to do this.
Yeah. There's like no grace.
No.
It like, and it's primarily the reason why like men can't speak about emotion openly.
Or
Because
when
it's just
given,
like, we don't care.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
Like, did you do it or not?
It's outcome. All
You know
I
what I'm
care
saying?
about is outcome, yeah.
So, yeah.
So then you're put in a dynamic with a woman who doesn't naturally listen. I listen well to understand. I don't always listen to change my mind on something. So I'm like, oh, no, I totally get
it's
you.
It's not like you listen. It's almost as if it's like the depth in which you can choose to listen is like as deep as a plate, as opposed to like a well.
Right.
Where
Wow.
Hold on, I'm not coming for you like that. I'm saying
Plate,
like
I'm with you.
the plate is like, oh, this can definitely hold what you're saying, but it's not deep enough for me to actually let it get
into me. Yeah. Maybe a bowl. Maybe a bowl and a well.
Okay.
You're like a bucket.
Yeah.
Plate is
I think I was just trying to make the dynamic. But I do feel like the plate versus the well is like, if something's on a plate, it can escape off of that plate far easier than if something were to fall into a well.
That's very true. Yeah, like the I don't necessarily always have a goal to be like wrong. So because of sometimes and that was a big one too, like really struggled being wrong, really struggled apologizing. That was more so maybe a little bit before you, but also with you. More so with my siblings. Would never say sorry. I would be like, I can see how we both get missed it.
Yeah, I can see where you went left there.
Yeah, and because of that, I followed you. So we ended up both.
Yeah, I was just following you.
Yeah. So the apology thing wasn't as much of a thing in marriage, but still the stubbornness, the not wanting to be wrong, the not wanting to like see your side.
Where do you think that comes from? Not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Like, what's that threaten?
What does that threaten? That's a good question. Maybe at its core, probably identity.
And what is that?
Zandy.
The false
identity. The wise. Zandy the wise. You know what I mean? Like the one that everybody comes to and, oh my gosh, you're so wise for your age. And I've been getting that since I was like 9, you know? And then, I just wish, one of my friends one time was like, do you like think about everything you say before you say it, or does it just come out like that? And I know that it's the Holy Spirit, but grace. when you store that stuff, God told me once, you'll never be truly humble if you continue to store the praises of men in your heart. So when you store that stuff, it like is a little fuel in the tank. It's like a just in case. A
little dirty fuel.
Right. It's like putting the wrong number gas in your...
You driving a Rolls Royce, you need that 96, but you really got that 84. Oh, that's 260?
Yeah, I'll just go for it. And so being wrong shatters the identity that I created. Because it's like, she's never wrong. She's always the one that has the answer. And because we obviously in marriage do life so intimately, for a long time, all I could hear was, this is where you're wrong. You're wrong. And I'm like, no one else is saying this to me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, and in a lot of ways, that's true. It would be, but it's the same thing as you being like, sex was great last night. And I'm like, no one else is saying this to me. It's like, yeah, I'm not sleeping with anybody else. You know what I mean? Hopefully nobody else is saying this to you. So in the same way, you're encountering things in me intimately that nobody else is. But I took nobody else saying it to me as evidence towards this can't be true. Versus he's the only one that's experiencing you this intimately.
Hmm.
Therefore, he's going to come across things that nobody else has ever experienced. But I thought it was just like, because I was a virgin when we got married, that part was only for sex, not for emotional stuff. I'm like, I have a lot of great friends who challenge me, but it goes deeper.
Right.
I'm not one with anybody else, even if they're really good friends of mine. So because I had never been challenged that way, it felt like a lie. Because I'm also not a loner who no one ever corrects me. So many people correct me heavily. I'm like, they just never said that. So I don't really know what you on, but
Zanny, you are one of a kind.
But anyway, as I kind of think through all of that, I'm thankful that I'm not still dealing with, because I believe it's the grace of God that allows us to heal over time and gives us things in ourselves to work on, instead of giving us our entire selves and being like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. It's more like the glory to glory, like, hey, this is coming up, let's talk about it, let's deal with it. Because the teamwork thing we were dealing with before we had kids, and I can see now, had we not dealt with it, how it could have affected us when we had kids, and how it could have affected our kids, and how we raised them. And then what I was talking about with the resentment thing, now it's not just you resent me or I resent him for not listening, but now it's you didn't listen and it put Triumph out and it did, so it just becomes bigger than it needs to be. And thankfully we're on the side of, we can work as a team now because we did the work and now we can just deal with today's challenges and not, how you see it, at least for me, when I would get behind on homework.
Okay.
I was homeschooled, so it didn't go away.
I have no idea how you did anything.
What you mean? Got away with anything?
Just being homeschooled. I'd be like, why do I need to do this? I'm at home right now. How do I have homework?
Yeah, I did that, and Mom would say, because I said so.
And then that leather got pulled out.
No, I didn't get spanked for asking the questions, but if I didn't do my work.
But I'm saying that was the consequence.
For sure.
Yeah.
But one time we were doing online courses, and it would have the homework and then the date it was due. And so then when that date expired, it would just turn red. It wouldn't, the homework wouldn't
go away.
Yeah. So I don't remember. I think it was history. I hated history, so I was like, it doesn't matter. So one time, I was probably 2 weeks behind.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And I went through each thing, and it would be like, read this and then write such and such on it.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. So I would not read it and then type in, I don't care, enter, send. Next one will come up. This doesn't apply to me at all. Send. You know what I mean? Because I was like, fail me. I don't care, Little did I know that Mom was getting sent the homework. I thought it was an online thing. The whole course
it was
graded
sky.
by somebody somewhere. Yeah. And Mom was like, Z, come here. She's like, do you know that I'm getting sent this homework? And I was like, no. I did not know that. So, because she had control over it, she'd sent it all back. And I had to actually do it. And that is what I'm talking about when it comes to not learning the lesson. God, who loves us so much, is not going to graduate us without doing any of the work.
Nope.
And so sometimes it's just whatever, I'm not going to deal with that. I'll suppress that. We're not a good team, but I'm not even going to address it. He who has all the power is able to send it back and be like, you're going to keep getting this homework until you do the lesson.
He's a God of order.
Yeah.
And it's if somebody is consistently experiencing the same thing over and over,
it may be because...
It may be. Not all the time. Yeah. Because it could be anything from generational curses to all that other stuff. But if it's an internal thing, it's because something fundamentally needs to be addressed. It's interesting, Christ being the cornerstone, right? On top of which everything else is built. I say that, and then I'm also reading in Deuteronomy, and they're going into like very deep detail of how they're building the tabernacle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had to repent because I was like, yo, why am I reading this? This is
And
so
thank
boring.
you.
And it's like so in depth and detailed. And God was like, this is important to me.
Yeah. Yes, sir. All right.
And I was
That's
like,
important
yeah, I
to
was
me
like,
too.
okay.
Yeah. How many
We're
cubits were
covering
the?
gold and shit on wood, and I don't know what that wood is, but
Yeah,
that sounds
but
funny.
that is important though.
Facts. But he's like, no, like details are so important to me.
Yeah.
Oh, all you have to do is look at nature, and you can just see everything is ordered in detail.
Yeah.
Like nothing is skipped over, glossed over, or was like, that's good enough. Let me go halfway on it.
Right.
It's like, nah, everything has its way. And I believe our souls are the same way. However, since our souls are in a fallen state, they need to be addressed in a very systematic way by the counseling of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
But it's like, if the thing that I actually want to be addressed inside of me, if we're looking at something from like an alphabetical perspective, is like Q, but I am looking at A, B, C, D, E, F, G as something that is remedial or so simple that I can just skip over and I don't necessarily need. You need A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on and so forth to get to Q. Just kind of like math. Like, them first few classes is mad simple. Don't show up for a couple weeks. You pull back up. They got letters now, bro, and
Like,
symbols
what is the exponent?
and like lines.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, what happened? But
Yeah.
it was all built on the foundation of fundamentals.
And God's like grace for us is to not drop us at Q.
No way.
He
That's not a
goes,
good
let's start
folly.
at A.
It's not a good folly.
But if I want to forfeit that, then I do get to Q and without having no information about what A is. And now it feels like the whole thing is crashing in on me. This is too much. And he's like, well, this wasn't my way. You chose not to do the work it took to build. And I can see.
And you still gonna have to go back to A.
Right.
Like, there's no way
Because
around
there's
that.
no way you can understand it without.
You're gonna have to go back. My bad.
So sometimes when we have like the weight of responsibility, and it's not even like God said, take my yoke for it's easy and light. So it's not like it's supposed to be crushing, but it's still maybe the values or the good things that we carry, meaning our kids or stewarding a home, stewarding finances. Like some lessons are easier learned with less things to steward. And I'm thankful that in most of I think we were in this house a little bit, but most of that contention, we were in a rental. So anytime something happened with a house, we were calling the landlord. It wasn't like, how are we going to figure out? We didn't have kids. We were both young, healthy. I mean, we're still young and healthy, but we weren't thinking about much of anything other than the two of us. And I think God allowed that stuff to hit the surface when that was the weight. And I'm thankful that we did it because now, again, I don't have to do yesterday's homework and today's homework.
Facts.
I can just do what he's allowing to come to the surface today, which is like parenting stuff.
But I don't even think that the stuff stacks up personally.
I do.
Like, I feel like it stacks up in what you're experiencing, but the thing that you can actually grasp and engage with is the thing that's at hand and not necessarily down the line.
Well, I'm saying, what about before you?
What are you talking
You're saying down the line, backward, down the line, future.
Like in the future.
Yeah, I'm saying, what about the stuff in yesteryear?
I'm saying, like, you're still back there. Like, I honestly believe, this is my own belief, that, like, there's people that are still stuck in 2002. Like, stunned, you know what I'm saying? Whether, like, just from a development perspective. Yeah. And it's like, oh, yeah, your body's aging.
Yeah.
And you're physically experiencing time. But your soul and your spirit's just like, because there's nothing that's allowing it to progress.
And I agree with that, I think. I think I'm coming from the place of like, me not knowing how to tie my shoe in pre-K. Just that is my sole responsibility. If I don't do that, then I'll never learn how to tie the shoe. But when now I'm in 6th grade and I don't know how to tie my shoe, and they're like, okay, everybody has 5 minutes to change for PE. Like the weight of like not knowing how to tie your shoe is very different than when
No, absolutely.
you know what I mean? So I'm thinking that side of it stacks up, and it's like I'm so stuck.
Oh yeah.
And this is actually prohibiting me from doing this, what I'm supposed to be doing easily, going to class easily.
I agree.
And so like with parenting, not us not knowing how to do the teamwork thing in our first year of marriage when we were just learning it is more the pre-K thing. We're like, okay, this is what we need to learn how to do. How do we never learn that? Now they're like, go run to class, and we're just like, we still don't even know how to. But now I have this expectation and responsibility that is adding to the chaos of like, we never actually learned this. Does that make sense?
No, I get that.
So maybe.
I just feel like the result of it stacking up is from being stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. We're not stuck.
By the grace of God.
Miss you and Darius's?
Nah. She did it all wrong too.
I asked the question, but now I'm being judged.
No, that's not being judged.
That's not good teamwork.
That's not being judged. That's just being.
You did it all wrong.
You did it all wrong. That's not shame. How could I have said it better before we close?
No, that's how you want to talk to me. This is.
Sorry, Zandy. You can do better next time, but that's not how we actually do it.
I don't want to know y'all's
You're
little
so
handshake.
great
I don't
at
want to know y'all's
doing
little
handshakes.
handshake.
You actually have soft hands too. That's amazing. Is that good?
You know I have soft hands.
Okay, we're out of here. Yo, this is the Mowry podcast. Till next time. Peace.